Hey everyone, you're with Tesla Tom. Thanks so much for joining us today on Ludicrous Feed Live. We are indeed talking about Tesla Investor Day 2023, of course, which happened today our time, Eastern Daylight Time at about 9 o'clock a.m. this morning. But it was, I guess, the 1st of March 2023, Austin, Texas time. And yeah, we're all here to talk about that and what events transpired and what was revealed, of course, from the live stream we all watched, or some of us watched on YouTube from Tesla. First of all, let's welcome our regulars on tonight. As usual, we have our guests on, which is Riz and Rahul. Hello, gents. How are we both?
Going well, Tom.
And likewise, thanks, Tom. Yeah, amazing morning. Looking forward to unpacking all the stuff that was revealed at Investor Day.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to talk about what was revealed and what wasn't revealed from all the speculation we had last week, of course. So yeah, we've got the next hour to unpack it all. A quick hello to all the members and people watching on the live stream tonight. Hello and welcome. And if you're watching this on replay, hello as well. Make sure you leave a comment below. And if you're listening on podcast, we welcome you as well. So thank you. Nice to see everyone here. We've got Greg, one of our members. Hey, Greg. He says, how good was Investor Day? Some amazing stuff indeed. I agree, Greg. Some good insights there. And Gaffer is here as well. Hello, Gaffer. Nice to see you. And Kenny Tim says, evening all. What an interesting show earlier today. It sure was, wasn't it? And Charles says, hey, all, some good stuff on Investor Day. Haven't had a chance to watch the whole thing yet. It was pretty long, actually. I was just saying to the gents off camera that not often I get to watch a whole Tesla stream live, but I did because I just had the day off work, which is great. So I watched all 3 hours of it. And some of you may have caught my live stream as well, the watch party we had on earlier today. So thanks for joining in. Now we've got Tesla royalty joining us tonight. Nash from Tesla and the Gong. He'll be joining us later on. So when royalty arrives, that's when we'll get him on. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Nash will be on very shortly. Arguably Australia's largest Tesla fan and Elon Musk's secret love child. So we'll see what he has to say about Tesla Investor Day when he comes on. So thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Before we do begin, I just wanted to quickly just give a shout out to our newest partner, which is Elusso, Australia's first electric car rewards club. This is a new program targeted at electric vehicle owners in Australia. And yeah, they basically have levels of membership which allow you to win prizes such as some vouchers for ev.com.au, Australia's electric car sharing platform, and other events as well around Australia. These are the levels of membership, $10, $15, and $25. And as you can see, each level gets you different benefits, such as prize draws, discounts on public charging, lots of deals, and yeah, featured Tesla referral codes as well. So check out Elusso, Australia's electric car rewards club. I'll leave the link in the video description below for you guys to check out. All right, well, we might start off with this tweet from Teslascope, actually. I found this to be quite a good summary of what actually transpired today. If you missed the whole thing, this is pretty much what sums up what was said by Elon and the team prior to the Q&A section. So I'll read it out, and if you've got anything to add in the comment section, please do. And gents, we'll throw to you as well afterward. Get your thoughts on this. So Teslascope, by the way, is I guess one of the apps available for data extraction from your Tesla. They were kind enough to give me a lifetime subscription for their program. So I do use Teslascope quite a bit for monitoring data for our Teslas. Let's recap Investor Day 2023. Point 1, Tesla plans to electrify the entire planet to provide sustainable energy for all of Earth, not just their own vehicles, not just their own solar products, the entire planet and beyond. Teased their second business model, which is the van, which makes up 83% of the commercial space. Alongside the semi, this allows Tesla to solely utilize their own vehicles. Point 3, Cybertruck launches this year. Today, we witnessed a new bumper camera, a new round yoke steering wheel, a rear display like Model S, and a new center console, and more. Next point, new vehicle charger that is more configurable via the Tesla mobile app, allows for wireless induction charging, and is vital for robotaxi non-touch. Next point, powered by Tesla Energy, Texas residents will gain access to $30 a month unlimited overnight home charging. This is only the beginning and will expand in the coming years as Master Plan 3 is fully realized. Discussed next generation vehicle plans, substantially reducing and eliminating rare earth elements, manufacturing footprints, and maximizing production. 100% vertical integration, and I guess vertical integration was one of the buzzwords of that stream, of major electronic components, enabling substantial cost and efficiency improvements going forward. New custom designed packages and microprocessors that are half the cost and purpose built. Next point, software is key. 33% of all service requests intelligently determine the parts required with high confidence, and software is now integral to the production process to improve QA, quality assurance. Second last point, 123 million miles driven per day and 1.9 million charging sessions recorded on average daily. And finally, prefab and other improvements to superchargers have allowed for a 15% reduction in costs and allow installations in less than a week. This will allow for the rapid growth of the supercharger network. So there we go. There were the main points from the Tesla Investor Day prior to the Q&A section, and we'll talk about that shortly, of course. And joining us in the studio, I can see him now. That's Tesla in the Gong. Tesla in the Gong. Nash, give us a wave if you're ready to come on. Okay. Give us a wave, Nash. All right, maybe not yet. We'll get him on when he's ready. Okay, gents. Let's throw to Riz. Riz, what did you think of the Investor Day in general? Overall thoughts?
I think it's, now we think about all the little clues that Elon and others have been giving out. It's all really been about scaling and how do you, it was really interesting to see all around Master Plan 3 and how many different teams referred back to that master plan, which is great to see that everyone's aligned on that same vision, which means they will make it happen. And yes, as an engineer, great to see. It was all around manufacturing, what they've achieved. And it was good that they could paint a picture. This is where we were in the beginning, and here's where we are today. And this is what the future looks like. So overall, pretty exciting, but obviously what we discussed last week, a lot around product, what's happening 6, 12, 18 months. And maybe that's to come in the coming months.
Yeah, that's right, Riz. I guess it's an investor day, right? I mean, we're kind of used to the showy, like this is what's coming up. But it's actually also good to know that there is some thought behind it all, what Tesla's doing in the future as an investor. Like, am I confident enough to keep giving Tesla my money in terms of product or even in terms of shares? And it's good that there is a plan. It's not just Elon and his thoughts. It's actually a whole team of them all confident in the vision and mission of this company. So yeah, you're right, Riz. Absolutely. Good to see what's happening. And there's so much transparency as well around these presentations. Rahul, did you manage to catch it today, or have you read around it so far?
Thanks, Tom. Yeah, I caught up a little bit today. Yeah, I think what you said just before, not a whole lot of showy stuff, but yeah, a lot of stuff that made practical sense, just really sort of compacting a lot of their processes, vertically integrating stuff, manufacturing coming in-house, design processes, implementation of new products and stuff and everything like that. But I love how Elon and Tesla were able to communicate from their overall global perspective, which is obviously, EV cars, sustainable stuff for Earth, for global, into then going into, sort of processes that also enhance that. And obviously, stuff that they have been criticized for in the past, which is rare earth materials, lithium ion, sort of mining and stuff and everything like that, and how they're trying to negate some of those impacts of that. Yeah, I just thought that was a great presentation, very rooted in reality rather than, throwing stuff, hoping, into the stars, hoping for it to stick. Loved it.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess the only mysterious product was possibly the van that they've got under wraps here. That as they said, it's going to be a large part of electrification, trying to get commercial vehicles over to electric. And that'll help for sure. So yeah, we'll see what they come up with. I think Franz came on stage to say that they won't be announcing the next gen product today. So we kind of from the beginning knew it was more about the processes and the efficiencies behind manufacturing, which is great. Well, let's get Nash on now. I think he's ready to go. So Nash, give us a wave when you're ready. Okay. There he is. He's waving. All right, let's get him on. This is Nash from Tesla in the Gong. Say hello to everyone. Hey,
Hi
Nash,
there, guys.
how's it going?
Hi there. Namaste to everyone, and a massive thank you for having me, and a very good evening to all your lovely listeners. I really love what you've done with this show, Tom, and Riz and Rahul helping him as well. Really good. The engagement is awesome. I do listen to most of it, or at least catch it after the fact, on my Tesla. I'm really glad that you brought me on today, and I really like the moniker you've given me, number one Australian Tesla fan. Thank you. I'm humbled.
Yeah, definitely, Nash. You're Tesla's #1 fan in Australia, no doubt. And Elon's secret love child, as we keep saying. Great that you were able to fly back from Austin, Texas, this morning too, from the event. How was it?
Oh, it is awesome.
I think
I really
the other
like
way.
the
The
show.
event was in Wollongong.
It wasn't wrong. They had to move it here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Austin, Texas,
This is the
Wollongong. Oh, that's where it
backyard.
was. I could have driven.
Yeah. I just walked.
And all seriousness, Nash, what do you think? You watched the whole thing, I imagine.
Okay, yeah. I'll give you my quick 101. I read the show for one. And I'll tell you why. How I saw it was, if you took the entire Tesla story as one single narrative in a show. For example, most of your listeners and viewers are probably familiar with HBO's Westworld. So let's say this is one single narrative. They started with the prologue as how they started the Model S and how they won the Best Award. And then if you forget the past, we do not learn from it. We are going to make the same mistakes in the future, and that is exactly what Tesla showed us today. So it started with the Model S. And then they revealed the first few chapters of how they transitioned from the Model S and X, and the things that they learned from that into the Model 3 and then the Model Y. And then they showed us how they have improved on the processes, and then they have the conflict in the story. Like in any storyline, there's the conflict in the story where they went into production hell when they went into all the when they went into the scaling process of getting the Model 3. And then they showed us how they have surmounted all of that and brought it into a point where the next step is going to be awesome. So they brought us up to the climax, and they stopped right there. Okay, but the people who do not like this, but people who do not like this Tesla investor event are the ones who directly wanted the climax. they didn't want to wait for all of this setup. They just wanted the climax. They said foreplay is boring. We want the climax.
That's so true, Nash.
They were the ones who were very, very disappointed. But people who really liked seeing the process and seeing what is in store. For example, let me tell you, there was one slide where they said they have prefabricated Tesla superchargers where they're able to deploy superchargers faster. To me, as a Tesla investor, so I own Tesla shares, so full disclosure there. So to me as a Tesla investor, that was like, wait, let me do the quick math. They started with making sure that everybody liked EVs, and they made sure that they made all the big OEMs scramble to catch up with them. They created an amazingly connected Tesla supercharger network, and then they opened it to every other EV. To me as an investor, it sounded like ka-ching. And then there was a slide which they said, now they have prefabricated it so they can deploy it faster. Ka-ching, ka-ching. As an investor, I'm already excited there. I didn't have to wait for the climax. The second thing, what they did, they listened to all of us. They said that producing, we want gigafactories to be everywhere in the world. And they dropped a slide which they said they're able to deploy gigafactories faster with lower capex and more value for dollar. And then they just name dropped Mexico. As a Tesla investor, I'm like, ka-ching, because lower cost of labor, faster to deploy there, and this will probably arguably be faster than Giga Shanghai. And most importantly, if China for some reason wants to play dirty with Giga Shanghai, or if there's problems with exporting Chinese-made cars to USA, they already have a Damocles sword there. Mexico is ready to go. As a Tesla investor, I'm like, wow, this is awesome. Ka-ching again. Now they dropped one more slide where they said software is now perfecting hardware. So software perfecting hardware. That is awesome. And they are changing the product line, or changing the building line, which was 100 years old from Tesla Model T, and now they're revamping it to bring it to the future. And that enables them to make cars faster, cheaper, and more efficient in producing that. Again, as a Tesla investor, I'm super excited already. So I did not wait for the Hardware 4 announcement. I did not wait for the Model 2 announcement. But those are all the climax. I didn't have to wait for the climax to be satisfied. I was satisfied with the foreplay.
Nash, to be fair, I think if Elon had just danced on stage, you would have been happy anyway, right?
Yeah, I know. That's all it needed.
Yeah. No, but you're right, Nash. Like, a lot of good stuff was announced today. I mean, as you said, like, Shanghai is kind of the testing ground, right? They cut their teeth on Shanghai. They're perfecting how they do factories. And look, Mexico is just like rinse repeat. I think they use that term, rinse repeat. Mexico, whatever, next factory in Asia, Europe, wherever it might be, we've got the blueprint there for future production, right?
I'm thinking India will be next, or at the very least Southeast Asia somewhere.
Indonesia, yep.
Indonesia, yeah, because they have access to minerals straight away, and they talked about lithium being very easily available, but then they said getting it to become battery grade is difficult, and it's already there in Indonesia. So yeah, it makes more sense.
Actually, I must say I was a little bit worried about. There was a graph that they showed, which was like, decreased labor hours, but increased outputs. So clearly the robots are taking over in Tesla, even though in the Q&A section, he kind of said, well, they're not, but then he was like, well, maybe I'm contributing to it. So Nash, what are your thoughts? Are we writing ourselves out of a job here?
Unfortunately, I have to say yes, because when they showed that, software able to diagnose itself, even up to the hardware level, yeah, we are writing ourselves out of that story already. So that is why my analogy of using Westworld, you see, it is about robots making robots and robots taking over. Unfortunately, that is the truth.
That's right.
But yeah, but again, it as in season 3, they showed that robots and humans can coexist. That is a way to coexist.
The worst thing about Westworld is that you don't know who's the bot, who's the human. That's really scary, I think.
That is scary. and then they showed Optimus Prime. I was like, wow.
I was going to segue to this because I know, Nash, you love this guy. All love these guys. Artemis.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What's going on here? This is like a family of bots doing stuff.
Yeah. So this is robots building robots. I actually tweeted a scene from an Indian movie where a rogue robot starts building an army of itself by building itself. So this is okay. It's not a rogue robot. We don't want Optimus to become rogue, but yeah, you never know. That screwdriver could be a gun someday. No, I'm joking.
Oh, no.
No, but that was really awesome. This thing was not moving a few months ago when we had the AI day, and now it is an actual moving model. It actually moves. It does tasks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Really...
And did you guys notice that even in Twitter, Optimus Prime is an affiliate of Tesla? Did you see that? On its actual handle it has got a yellow tick, which is, and it is mentioned as an affiliate of Tesla. If you pull up the Twitter handle of Optimus_Prime, it is an affiliate. So it's not too far away when Optimus will be building itself and the Teslas. Yep. And the Powerwalls and
driving us around, and then we just sit there and I don't know, what do we do? Just sit there like that movie WALL-E, right?
Yeah,
and enjoy life, chill out, as Elon said.
Yeah.
I might cut to Riz actually. Riz, we mentioned a lot about Hardware 4 last week on the stream. Obviously, I don't think they mentioned that term once in the whole presentation. Like, does that matter?
No,
really, no.
I think as Nash said, it's sort of the bigger picture of where things are going. It's aimed at investors, how many cha-chings you can hear. And that's what it is. Where is this heading? Where's the value being created? And they focused on that a couple of times during the presentation. How can we create the most amount of value while transitioning everyone to a sustainable Earth, which is better for everybody? And yeah, I'm just impressed to see since AI Day how far Optimus and its little family has come. I mean, they've even got a photo frame now.
I know, I saw that.
And that was very, very cool. And the way it's holding those, those tools,
Yeah.
and pneumatic guns or electric, whatever they are, it's very, very cool. Like, they're able to do all this stuff so quickly, and it's all based off our cars, the autopilot software. So very cool.
I know Elon didn't, he said he couldn't find any, well, they couldn't find any, like, any motors or any gadgets like they could use to build the robots. Like, the car stuff didn't really translate across to building an android as such. Like, if you look at this this bot's hand, I don't know what they're using there. Silicon, rubber, like, I think that this whole bot will be skinned by, like, 2 or 3 years time, Tesla Investor Day. It's just going to freak us out because it's just going to look like a human android doing stuff. Rahul, I might cut to you. Like, you're obviously a family guy like myself. Could you use one of these around the house to clean stuff? I mean, I know I would.
Most definitely. I am a stay-at-home dad, so yeah, this would just allow me a lot of free time.
More golf.
And you know what? The house will be perfectly clean. The wife will be happy, and yeah, I would get a little bit more time at golf, Tom. Yeah, absolutely. I just want to mention a couple of quick points here, Tom, while I've got the time. From the David Lau presentation from the software section at today's Investor Day. This is amazing because I think what people think is like Tesla is constantly improving, but I think they're doing more than that. They're constantly looking at innovating. And that's a massive difference from legacy platforms that are still looking at catching up. So what David Lau did say was when a production associate plugs something into the car, the software now automatically confirms it is the right part, installs a software update if necessary, runs calibrations, runs tests, and if problems are experienced, calls humans for help. And they're doing that same thing with service. Service is treated the same way, where they're using AI to automatically transcribe customer issues, problem solve, and order parts as a result. And then just to add something to that as well, I believe I read somewhere on Twitter that Elon is now getting a team together for an open AI platform to rival something that Chat GPT is doing through the other platform. All of this just points to they're just thinking way ahead of any other legacy OEM out there.
If I may add to that,
please, Nash,
sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
After you, go on. Now, if I may add to that, Tesla has, I think, transcended from being an automaker, an automobile maker, a long time ago. Ever since they went into the Optimus program, and ever since they got Dojo, right from that time they got Dojo, and they got machine learning going, and they got autonomous driving going. They had already transcended from being just another automobile maker. Already the OEMs are teensy weensy in our screen. They're far, far away. And now Tesla is just clicking and pressing that plaid switch now to leapfrog into a completely different realm altogether. And that is why they led with that. They said this is an investment for all of Earth. This is not just for people who invest in Tesla today. I know people may think that Nash usually drinks Elon's Kool-Aid all the time, so that's why he's saying this.
Oh, that's what it is.
That's this one.
Yeah,
Kool-Aid it is.
I want some.
This is rose milk. Probably people from Malaysia, you know that this is rose milk because it's one of Malaysia's amazing drinks. Anyway, but it's not. I gave you examples as why I think that they are actually important to learn from the mistakes of the past. If you remember when Steve Jobs went on stage to release the first iPhone, he said we want to intersect between ease of use and advancement. And then he made one more statement. He said people who are serious about software must also make their hardware. It is from Alan Kay, I think it is. He quoted him verbatim, and that's what Tesla is doing. They're vertically integrating with all of their sustainable models, but they're also integrating with the processes, the minerals, the elements, the whole works. They're vertically integrating, but on top of that, they're adding software, and they're also constantly improving on the hardware. Now, if that is not a great future, I don't know what is. I'll tell you one more thing. People who said 10 years ago, when Tesla showed the map, were saying that now we're going to start installing Tesla superchargers in these locations. People said, boring, show us the Model S. And now those Tesla superchargers are making money head over heels for them.
Yep.
Hand over fist for them. So those people said it was boring. Now it is no longer boring. It is making money, hard cash, and that will make them improve or deploy more superchargers. So same things. You see this particular slide. This is an amazing slide to see, isn't it? Rare earth minerals required for their processes is 0. How many people can say that? They did that to cobalt a few weeks ago, a few months ago, or sorry, a couple of years ago. They said cobalt 0. Now rare earth elements 0.
Yep. They've copped a lot of flack for. They've copped a lot of flack for, like, mining stuff like this, and they've now gone, no, we're not going to take anything out of the ground. But what I did take heart from was that Elon Musk did say lithium is one of the most abundant minerals on the planet, right? Because I do get asked a lot, well, is there enough lithium, enough nickel to create all these stationary storage options in cars, right? And he said that, well, the more we look, the more we seem to find, which is incredible. So, for him to say that, that's quite good, that we are going to be able to see more cars meet the demand. And what he said was good too was that, well, we've got capacity to overproduce with redundancy, with cell production, and if the demand isn't there at the moment, then we can always shift that over to stationary production, because the demand for that is always going to be high. So that's good. They've thought of this through.
I'm sure most people did hear this right. He was very clear in saying that, yes, nickel is difficult to get, but you don't need nickel in your battery chemistry, except when you want to build semi-class batteries. Most of the others can be taken care of with just the iron, and iron is abundantly available in the world. He said we are actually a rusty ball. The whole of Earth is just a rusty ball. That's the word he used. So most of the iron chemistry batteries are more than enough to build small, short range and medium range vehicles. Only the long range vehicles would need nickel, so you'd need lesser of nickel anyway. So it makes more sense.
Yeah. And I think the guys on stage mentioned that Toyota tore down one of the Model Ys and basically said it was a work of art. So it's nice that that got a mention as well, because I hope Toyota do pick up, pull their socks up and finally get on the bandwagon here. I know Riz is very much in touch with that all that stuff. I mean, Riz, what have you read about around Toyota the last few days? Are they actually serious now, or what?
I think this goes to sort of what we'll be talking about, Tom, at Fully Charged. How far ahead is Tesla? That question often gets asked when the share price wasn't doing too well a couple of months ago. The whole thing around Twitter and the general media and their clickbaity stuff. Everyone's talking about Tesla's lost their vision and that Tesla's losing their lead and all of this stuff. Just because they're not talking about it doesn't mean they're not doing it. Toyota, on the other hand, is talking a lot about sustainable future and how their self-charging hybrid system is revolutionizing the way we transport. And, only a couple of months ago, the sales executive, the head of sales in Australia, is like, we have contributed so much to reducing emissions in Australia because, we sell 3 times hybrids compared to any other manufacturer. But when everyone else is moving ahead, it's that same thing. Elon a couple of times used the flip phone analogy this time. Toyota will continue to build their flip phones until nobody wants flip phones anymore. So it's going to be an interesting transition where they've lost market share in China, in Europe, in America. They don't even have an electric product. BZ4X is beyond zero something.
Beyond something.
Because, beyond zero in sales, because nobody wants them. And I think that's where the transition is going. And, goes to show that if that's what Toyota's discovering this week, then they do this next generation platform, and nobody else can catch up in terms of the manufacturing component is what Toyota is known for. Lean, Toyota production systems, manufacturing. And they say lean is too slow now. And, everyone can't be working on the same thing, which Tesla showcased today, that all different departments. That's why everybody is in the factories doing what needs to happen. Software, hardware, power electronics, you name it, factory, manufacturing, system engineers. Everyone's doing the same thing, and plus Tesla can then leverage the SpaceX stuff. So Toyota, I don't know what's going to happen there.
So, just a quick joke. If Toyota is discovering about the Model Y today, they're not far ahead in our car's windscreen. They're actually far ahead in the car behind us, in the Tesla behind us. They're far behind that car. They're not going to come anywhere close to reaching Tesla's. The competition is not coming.
No.
Let's face it. That's it.
I think Toyota needs to be beyond compliance and go beyond the joke and just get going. I quite like this comment from Greg. Another interesting comment was in the Model S. They showed how little people open the sunroof, including my Model S. I've got a sunroof which I don't rarely open. It was single digits, so they removed the sunroof. So like that kind of thing, like the kind of monitoring that Tesla do to improve their products. I know there was some controversy around the lumbar support for the passenger side in the Model 3, but that's a sort of similar thing. And what was cool today too was that they mentioned that they can now, with the adaptive suspension, they can actually check like how much movement there is in the adaptive suspension for bumpy roads or really bad roads. Imagine mapping Sydney or Melbourne with the potholes around after bad weather, right? You could see in the sim they create, okay, this is where the bad roads are. We're going to be more careful around here. That's really cool, I think. There was also some talk about, I might move to V2H or, bidirectional charging in the Q&A section. A bit controversial again. I think Elon Musk kind of just brushed that aside. He was like, well, we don't really need bidirectional charging because you don't want to switch your car off or unplug the car from the house. I mean, I'm kind of in two minds. Like, it'd be nice to have the car as the backup battery, but you certainly wouldn't rely on the car for your entire house, right, Nash? I imagine it's just a backup, a supplementary, you said.
No, that is one thing I don't agree with Elon. I mean, Elon is not always right. I mean,
Don't agree with Elon.
He's only 99.9% right. That's all. I would love to have V2H in my car. It's not that I'm going to use it at any time, but having that gives me that peace of mind that it is just like having it's like having the a kill switch for maybe just to know that it is there. Gives you a little bit of peace of mind. I would definitely want V2H, and the cars that have V2H right now have shown that it is not that terrible of a thing to do, and it is possible to make it useful. I probably like Jobs. He'll come around with regards to the stylus. Jobs thought the stylus was bad, then they made the Apple Pencil after all. Maybe, and he thought the iPad Mini should not exist at all, but then they made iPad Mini afterwards. So probably he'll come around to it afterwards. Yeah.
I think they did say 2 years. I think one of the team members said, it'll be around in 2 years' time or thereabouts. And Elon was kind of like, I don't know, not sure. I think Riz wrote an article today about it too.
I think they have a small little card up their sleeve. Probably when they take over the entire grid. Right now, they only have Texas, where there's Tesla Energy exists. When they take over the entire grid, then they will be in complete control of the software on both ends of that grid. Then probably they will say, okay, now we know what is happening on either side. I can direct my software to do the thing for me. Probably.
And that's where it's sort of going, right? Like, I'm driving an Ioniq 5 at the moment, and yesterday I experimented by charging the Tesla with it. And yes, you can, up to 3.4 kilowatts. You can get out of the Ioniq just by the plug they give you. It's cool. Yes, as backup storage, it's a good thing to have, and many cars will have it. In 2 years' time, I think the key is what they sort of mentioned, the other gentleman that was answering that same question. They've been trying to get their power electronics, the cost down. But apparently within 2 years, they will they'll have the cost down, but also be able to enable that functionality. I can also understand from a point of view that how many people would actually use that system and how often. If it's at no cost to Tesla to enable that or to make it happen without it cannibalizing the Powerwall market, then yes, it makes sense. But I guess since Tesla's in the business of storage as well, so large scale storage as well, and they want to use that control that Nash, you were saying, with Powerwalls. The system allows you to do that. Your vehicle is generally going to be on the road as such. Yes, if you have it in conjunction with a Powerwall, makes sense. Without it, I can't imagine many people running a power lead across footpaths. Like where you live, Rahul, like even if you had vehicle to load, the only time that most people would be able to really use it is if they're going somewhere and camping. So hopefully that will happen. But in the near term, it's getting the fundamentals right around the motors, around supercharging, around how we build those vehicles, the manufacturing component of it. One thing that wasn't touched on was Tesla insurance. Huge opportunity,
Huge.
ginormous. Nobody in Australia is happy paying what we're paying at the moment for insurance because the insurers don't understand Teslas or electric vehicles in general. If Tesla is controlling, or if they're seeing the data on the sunroof we spoke about, ride control in terms of suspension heights, they're getting the real live world data, right? They're collecting it, they're sending updates, they're checking stuff without us even knowing, obviously safely. If that starts to happen, then the whole world's insurance industry is in a lot of trouble, especially as the Tesla fleet grows, because only Tesla has access to that data. And with driver scores and other things, I think it's not spoken about, but software in the insurance industry, even if they start with Tesla owners like they did with Superchargers, once it expands, it's going to go ballistic.
Yep. It really should reduce the price, because then you know what the cars are doing. It's not just like a huge redundancy built into each product, right? So if they can collect the data, create a product based on the data they have, Riz, that makes a lot of sense. I agree. Yep. Just put this comment from Gaffer, and I agree with this, because I would still have a Powerwall even if Tesla had bidirectional charging, because as we've mentioned a few times, it's not the energy storage for your home. You've got to have a backup as well, stationary backup. And then you can sort of use software to go between the two. And that way, if I have to drive off to somewhere to get something from the shops, the house doesn't go down or there's no backup. So having that from the car to the Powerwall and vice versa, then I think that makes a lot of sense. Yep, for sure. Nash, you better check your Twitter account, because Charles says Tesla in the Gong has now been blocked by Elon Musk. So don't you dare disagree again.
Daddy still loves me.
That's good.
Gents, I had a couple of points to make while Riz was talking about Tesla insurance. Yeah, great opportunity for Tesla, but I think they probably want to refine that product a little bit, because compared to, say, FSD beta allowances in the US, where people have had their safety scores rescinded because of, like, say, some guy didn't drive, had a 99 score, drove, for 2-3 hours, and then had his score sort of downgraded or whatever. All those factors tie into, I guess, your overall experience as well. So, yeah, I think they would probably get into insurance eventually, but they would really have to refine that product, because it's one of those things that you don't really want to have issues with if you do sign up for Tesla insurance. You know what I mean? Like, if something did go wrong with the car, blah, 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 you want to make sure that it's a seamless process, knowing, hey, that's your car, that you want to be back in that car ASAP.
I won't mention any companies, but I've heard of some trying to enter the market in Australia, and possibly already in the US, where like your account is kind of linked to your phone, so they can monitor where you drive and possibly even use the accelerometer to see how fast you turn and how fast you drive. And that kind of data could be used, by insurance companies to give you a score. And judge your insurance premium that way too. So if someone can do it like that, then I'm sure Tesla's already kind of thinking about that product.
Wasn't there a company which gave you an OBD port, something that you can plug in, and that will monitor how well you drove, and then it reduced or increased your. I forgot the company's name again. We don't have to drop names.
We don't have to mention names. No.
Yeah, we don't have to. But I remember somebody had that, something like that.
Yeah. It's the reality.
I'm not giving my location information to some third party company. No way. But Tesla, I know that they'll decouple my my entry and exit points.
Yes.
And then only take the in between. And we trust Tesla. I'm not trusting everyone else.
No, that's right.
Nash, you don't trust Medibank or Optus?
Optus sold me. That's it. I'm with Optus. They completely sold me. I'm a slave now.
Nash, I'm sure I've got calls from Nash, like 50 different Nashes this week.
Easily.
The data's out there.
Yeah, it's completely out there. They just sold me cheap.
Gents, talking about utilizing data as well, and then one thing that's really relevant to, I guess, Australia, something that we have talked about on our live streams quite a bit is obviously charging infrastructure and the issues around it. And so I think, again, this was in the supercharging section there, or the charging session, which Rebecca Tinucci was in charge of. And I should just quickly acknowledge that the notes that I'm actually referring to were posted on Twitter by Dan Birkland. So people should follow him. Great notes. But he was basically saying, or Rebecca was basically saying, that they're looking at using data from, say, when people use their trip planner to basically being air traffic controllers for EV cars, which means it reduces your wait time when you do turn up to these chargers. Which should be music to ears for people looking at adopting EVs or looking at buying a Tesla in Australia.
Yeah, obviously the goal is long term, like an autonomous fleet where they can direct cars where to go. But even if you're driving, then they can tell you, well, you should go here because you'll have more range, or you have enough range to go there. This is a bit cheaper here, less people waiting there. Yeah, I mean that makes a lot of sense. Air traffic control. That's quite a good analogy, I thought, from Rebecca. Good question here from Gary. Do you think the charger lengths should be longer at public chargers? I saw Marcus Brownlee's video of opening them up in the US. I know in Australia, the 5 pilot sites in New South Wales, they've taken away the wheel barrier so that other cars can drive a bit further into the stall. I agree. I think maybe charging cables do need to be longer, because if your port is on the right hand back, like the eGMP cars, then it's a bit of a concern. You can't actually drag the cable around far enough, or you need to occupy the adjacent stall, which would annoy another owner who can't drive into that stall. Nash, some thoughts on that?
Yes, I do. I watched that Marcus Brownlee's, the MKBHD. I believe it was an autofocus on his other channel. So anyway, I have some thoughts on that. You saw that Ford F50, and he was saying you had to go forward a little bit more. I believe they have kept it like this so that they can show the other OEMs what a terrible, shitty experience they're having if they don't have a Tesla. This is just me voicing it out. If I were Tesla, I would probably think, I'll probably think to myself, what is the best way to show the people that they have a very bad experience if they're not driving a Tesla car, by making them suffer ever so slightly, so much every single time, and that goes and feeds back into their subconscious memory, and they're like, you know what? The next car I'm going to buy is going to be a Tesla. The Tesla supercharging experience was amazing. They have a Cybertruck coming. I don't have to worry about this inching a little bit forward, a little bit more, a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left. I don't have to worry about all that. I just buy a Cybertruck and just be done with it.
That's right.
It's probably that not everybody will think like that, but in the subconscious memory, in the subconscious mind, somebody is probably going to think, I don't have to go through this rigmarole of going through all this nonsense, and I'm getting almost the same experience, but it keeps me I have peace of mind that everything is taken care of by Tesla's mothership, and I don't have to worry about anything. They might just flip the switch. That's probably what happened with many people who went from Samsung, or let's not drop names, from Android to iPhones. They were like, you know what, everybody had the blue bubble, and I don't have the blue bubble. You know what? I'll become the blue bubble.
Yeah, I think Gaff is saying, V4 Superchargers will have a longer cable. I think they did mention it during the stream as well.
They are testing that in Europe right now. That is true, but my thoughts were we're on a different tangent there.
It's free advertising for Tesla for sure. I mean, like, I think, it still doesn't beat, like, as we all know, because we're all Tesla owners here, we just literally plug it in and then walk away, right? We don't have to worry about RFID cards, about, apps, about this and that. It's just so easy. So again, Nash, like, these F-150 owners, these, like, Ioniq owners will see, hang on, they just literally plug it in and walk away. So again, free advertising.
But having said that, I believe that the Tesla way of implementing it is the best that we have, because everything else right now that we have is not great. It's not great. It can be far, far superior. This is one app for like all the chargers. We want one app to rule them all. I mean, that the one ring. Give us that one ring, guys. Come on.
Hashtag Skynet. Yep.
Yeah. No, hashtag Lord of the Rings or something like that. No, but because think of it. I had this problem the other day. So close by, we have a ChargeFox charger in Shellco. So I was there. I was helping a friend charge his Tesla. So we went there, and there was a EQC owner who had come, and poor chap, he was really struggling to get that charger to work because it's in the basement and the 4G network is bad. So I said, don't worry, mate. Yeah, I asked him how long you want to charge. And he said, I want to charge only for like 10 minutes. I'm just going to go close by. I'm going to go home and charge, something like that. 10 minutes. I said, okay, I have an RFID tag. I'm just going to tap. It's okay. Don't worry about it. I'll pay. That's okay. It's just being a good Samaritan, but that's okay. But having said that, now he had to think about getting that RFID. And then if it was a Tesla, he would just plug in and he just walk away.
Yep.
Or if it's a Tesla app, he'll just go in and he'll do that. I'm not sure if it needs the 4G network for that as well. I'm not sure. Probably it does. But having said that, it is a much easier experience when you have just one app as opposed to having 4 or 5 apps.
Correct.
So they don't have to remember if it's ChargeFox or if it's EV or if it is Tritium. I'm sorry, Tritium. I'm sorry, Tritium. Yeah, Tritium.
You're not wrong.
They don't have to worry about all that. It's just one thing.
Charles says, I hope you also handed him a card with your referral code, Nash.
Yeah, that's right.
The referral code was not active at that time. I would have definitely had it. I have a card with a QR code on it. They just had to scan for my referral code. It was not active at that time.
I've seen those cards. They're very good. Nash, you're a good man. Like, seriously, just spotting that guy or girl, a bit of charging. That's very good of you. I want to put up this slide here because this really interested me. So the Tesla electric, electricity network includes overnight unlimited home charging, $30 a month. Nash, this is kind of what we had, right? When AGL had this $1 a day thing.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this is. Yeah.
It is exactly what it was. $1 a day.
Yep.
And this is what came to my mind. I actually tagged AGL on this, and the AGL, are you listening? You should just bring it back.
Yep.
Everybody else is eating your lunch.
I think Mike Cannon-Brooks is listening, Nash, because you just have to go through Elon, and then Mike will listen, and he'll make it happen.
Yes.
This is so exciting. Like, they're going into this electricity market, which we know, like insurance, is completely screwed in most countries because people don't understand. There's retailers, there's distributors, there's all these middlemen. And if they can start to, get through and test it and in a couple of markets, I think it's a great opportunity.
Definitely. For $1 a day, it's great. It covers so much. And if you have V2L or bi-directional charging, imagine charging your car overnight and then using that to power the home during the peak periods or like during the
That's
sunset.
one of the reasons why Tesla won't bring that V2G, because if they give this, they won't give that. So you only get one of it. I mean, that's what AGL did too. If you had the $1 a day, your feed-in tariff was actually much lower than what everybody else was getting. I mean, till the feed-in tariff went to the dogs after some time, but till then. So I asked them, hey guys, my neighbor is getting 20 cents as fit. Why am I getting only 9 cents? And they said, no, Nash, because you're on the $1 deal. I'm like, okay, fair enough. I'll take the $1 deal.
Done. I'd rather have the $1 a day, to be honest, than the 5-cent feed-in tariff. You're right. So you saw a few people on Twitter saying they're going to move to Texas now. So with that $1 a day, it's pretty good. I might just quickly take a little break and just talk about our partners tonight, which is Driva, driva.com.au. If you're looking for some finance for a new Tesla, or EV for that matter, then have a look at Driva. They are basically a brokerage service looking at all the lending options at the moment in Australia. So check them out if you need a loan. Apparently the approval is very quick. So yeah, driva.com.au. I'll leave that in the description below. Thank you, everyone. Let's see, what else can we talk about, gents?
Cybertruck.
Nash.
How many have you got on order?
Yeah, Nash's
and
expertise.
Have you got a plan to transition
I only have
most
three,
of the
I'm
ute
afraid.
fleet?
You're up to your 69th vehicle, aren't you, Nash?
No, I have 3 Cybertrucks on order.
Okay.
One of each variant. We don't know which is going to drop, so I didn't want to take the chance. I want the tri-motor, but yeah, I've got one of each variant on order. Yeah, Cybertruck is a very exciting product in itself, because I think that is the product which is going to transcend our planet. That is just my thought. It is one they're gonna like knock it down to its basic common components and perfect it as much as possible, and they will ship it off planet. Yeah. When that Starship lands on Mars, you can see a Cybertruck coming out. There's one small wheel for man, 4 wheels for mankind.
Or for Optimus.
Or for Optimus. Yeah.
I was lucky enough to see this in LA. The Cybertruck up close. Like as soon as I saw it, I was so like, wow, this thing is an absolute beast. It can just tackle anything on this planet and beyond. Yep.
Tom, I wanted to ask you, because you've seen it in person.
Yeah.
Do you think you can take it to Woolies and park it inside there? And take it out without knocking out all of those pillars? Do you think it's possible?
Doesn't matter. It's stainless steel. I don't care. You don't need Sentry mode, right? if you knock it, I don't care. It's hardcore. It is.
It is hardcore.
Yeah.
I wish they send 1 or 2 down our way. We would love to. I mean, I don't have to test it myself, but somebody tests it in Australia. It'll be really good. Our Outback is absolutely unrelenting and punishing, so great place to test.
Yep, for sure. Bidirectional, camp out and under the stars. Yep, be good.
Well, it might happen because there's a Model S running around at the moment doing country testing. So maybe Tesla is using New Zealand for winter testing, and Australia for whatever they're using the Australian Model S for. So you never know. Maybe it will come before. Well, I think it would land before the Rivian would.
Okay. Yep.
You know what? I'm waiting for that Cybertruck versus Roo video. No, Cybertruck versus Skippy. That'll be a video to watch.
Nash, I think one of the viewers before had a question for you. Would it be the Rivian or the Cybertruck if both were available for Nash? What would you choose?
I'll take the Cybertruck any day.
Oh, yeah.
One,
you wouldn't want the Rivian as a backup just in case?
No, not really. But I like the Rivian. I must say, I like the car. I like the truck. It's pretty sweet. I'm not a great fan of the front, the light, but I guess it's a what do you say, an acquired taste. But having said that, I would probably buy a Cybertruck over Rivian. The reason being, I think that Cybertruck, I fell in love with the Cybertruck the moment it came out, because it reminded me of Blade Runner. And I'm a massive Blade Runner fan, and I was like, wow, it is out there. This is unlike anything that we even imagined it would be. You remember before the Cybertruck was released, there was a lovely video of somebody who modified their Model 3 into a Cybertruck, and they call it Truckla.
Truckla, yes.
Yeah. That was a great video.
What's the name?
That was an amazing build, I must say. But having said that, after they rebuilt that, I was like, this is not the Cybertruck I want. I mean, this is not the truck I want, is what I thought. It is a great video, all right. But that was not, and when the Cybertruck came in, I was like, first I thought it was a joke, I must say. But within a few moments, I was like, this is actually quite hot, that light and the way it's made. And then the more they revealed about it, I really loved it. And what sealed the deal was Franz and his 2 balls of steel.
So Nash, at the Peterson Museum, right? They actually have that sledgehammer and the ball sitting there.
Yeah.
The original ball that broke the glass.
Is that right? Okay, that is hilarious. Tesla is a company which can laugh at itself. That is the beauty of Tesla.
Correct.
So I'll still go for the Cybertruck.
Actually, I'll put the slide up because where was it? They said they still need to think about, despite all the serious stuff. Where is it? They need to still. Where is it? Sorry. Whoop.
Oops, we lost.
All right. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
This one, can't forget to do cool S ...
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, they still need to do cool stuff like that. Like, how cool is that charging station? Oh my goodness, how good is that?
What is it? Is it
Oh,
is it a V4? I don't know. It looks super cool.
Retro futuristic.
It's supposed to be that there's an American diner concept that is going in somewhere. I can't remember where in America, but it's supposed to be based on one of those, earlier American diners, and it's a supercharging station. You can see superchargers at the front. And yeah, it's supposed to be happening. I'm not sure how far into it actually is. Just on that last slide, Tom, someone noticed underneath that red Model S,
Let me put it up. Yep.
a wireless charging pad of some sort.
Yes.
I was just going to talk about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what's with the
Induction
charger?
charging.
Is it a new generation charger? That's that weird silver bullet thing on the side. That's not a V3 wall connector, is it? What is
No,
that?
so that cable does not lead to the port. You see, is that the induction charger or somebody?
Oh, I see. That's the EVSC for the wireless charger. Oh, that's cool.
So we're not going to get the snakes anymore. So there are no more snakes, but they're just going to go in induction. So yeah, I don't mind.
I think I did read somewhere on Twitter today that the wireless induction charger may obviously benefit robo-taxis and fleets. Yes,
That's true.
Good point.
That's true. That was mentioned. If they want to go into robo-taxis, they need to go into a touchless charging environment, either the snake or the induction. I believe the snake is the better way to do it. Induction, you lose so much unless Tesla's figured out something. You know how our phones, we do have these, whatever induction charging, and they're not that
charging.
good.
Yeah.
Although they're great.
Optimus could do it. I mean, Optimus could do it, couldn't he? He could be the bot standing at each supercharger, like going, plugging it in.
That'd be nice. It'll be like these old gas stations where people come and quickly wipe our windshields. They'll give you some coffee, and that'd be nice. It'd be interesting.
Actually, I read somewhere today that with these cool diners, like these charging stations, you could actually have drive-through or drive-in diners where someone comes to your window and like serves you food, or you can take an order that way through the app, and then someone brings you the food. So that's an idea for the future.
And did you notice the way the chargers are arranged in that picture? That was very, very telling. And obviously, we know Tesla does not put anything out of place on a chance. You see, there's one charger which is horizontally placed, and the other one is perpendicular to that. And there's one more horizontal, and there's vertical. There is something happening there. I can't figure out why. If you zoom it and see it, the chargers are not the usual configuration. There's one in the usual configurations we have. There's a vertical charger. There's a horizontal and the vertical one. There's something. They are. It looks like they've done some sort of an Easter egg drop there. I'm not sure what's happening there.
You're right. Yes, there's a lot of funny looking configurations there. Maybe some for trailers, some for other cars. Some drive-through ones. Actually, we touched on this earlier, but the prefab stuff where they just drop in the charger. How cool is that? Like that could be on the back of a flatbed truck, right? During peak demands, just chuck in another 4 to 8 chargers at any location, and away you go, right? That's very cool. Charles says wireless has improved heaps in recent years. Check out the videos by Bjorn Island a year ago. Yes, I think he got up to 50 kilowatts on the induction chargers, which is not bad.
I saw that video.
Not bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah. Peter Cook says, I want the robotic snake charger. Okay. We should put a poll. Hey, snake versus bot versus induction.
I'll take the snake any day.
That's why you don't want people to know where you go, Nash. Come on.
Fair enough. I did want to mention one other thing that we never talked about autonomy. When Ashok Elusso, when he came on stage and he talked about FSD, it all sounded like we've seen this before because we've watched umpteen number of FSD videos from multiple US YouTubers. But then he mentioned about some key points there, why it is important for an autonomous future. that's what interested me more, because that was pertinent to me being an investor, because he said most of the cars are just parked at home. We know all of this. It's not like they didn't say anything new, but then how it all ties up together into that narrative. Now basically it was like seeing a broad picture today of the entire narrative. And Ashok made this point of how Tesla is able to leverage on vision more and more and more. Right now, vision sucks. We know it. Now we are thankful that our Model Y still has ultrasonic sensors. We are very happy about that. Both our cars are on their way. Tom, I'm sure you get yours soon. Mine, it looks like my Model Y Performance possibly 11th. Let's hope so. Fingers crossed.
Awesome.
I got a call from these guys today. But anyway, so the ultrasonic sensors are going to go, and they're going to go on vision alone. And the reason why they're doing that, in my mind, is so that they can challenge themselves to make it better. So if they had the ultrasonic and they kept relying on that, Tesla may not go into an all vision future, because that vision future is going to directly feed back into Tesla AI. And if I may throw a small what do we call it? Out there, that Elon probably got Twitter because he wanted data. Data about human behavior.
Yep. No.
This is my thought.
That's not far-fetched at all. I think that's why he did it, right? Yep.
Yes, that's my thought. He wanted data about human behavior, because that's what happens in Westworld as well. That data is the one which is most important. And again, going back to Westworld, because I think Westworld is more like a blueprint for what Elon is doing. They didn't care about robots killing robots. They didn't care about robots killing humans or humans killing humans. They actually valued that data. That is most important, because that construct gives you how human behavior works. You want that data to direct towards an artificial intelligence, so that it can not just mimic what humans did, but it can transcend what humans did. That's probably what I think the whole play there is.
What was fascinating for me was there was one segment where they put up a slide where, like, there was a car parked and then there was another car trying to get out onto the main road, and they were sort of talking about how can you differentiate whether that car is parked or not. Like, it was sort of showing, it was facing the other cars in a different angle. And that got me thinking, how do you differentiate a car that's parked or idling, or like the guys or person sitting in there just on their phone? Like, how does a computer work that out, right? And I think they said it was just data. It was just like getting lots of data and just predicting what that car's doing based on previous history. I thought that, like as you said, Nash, it's just data. That's all it is.
Have you heard of this analogy called B8 problem? When computers started having visual recognition, they just couldn't figure out how to make the computer understand the difference between B and 8, because they just couldn't figure that out. It was called the B8 problem. It was a big problem back in the early 2000s, when vision-based scanners were coming through, and they solved it by just brute force, training it over and over and over and over again. So that's where that all that data comes in. They showed the computer that this is B and this is 8. There is a fundamental difference that a human can recognize, but the computer was not able to. It was called the B8 problem. You can look it up.
Isn't that why we do those verification checks for, like, are you a robot? And we have to tick all the bicycles and the traffic lights. Like,
I know. I always sweat when there is this little bit of a corner of a light there. That. I'm like, do I click it or not click it?
I'm failing here. Ask me to do it again. Now Gary says it was Simone Gertz. That's the name of the
Simone,
the lady I was trying to think of.
Yeah.
Yes,
her video
Thank
was
you, Gary.
awesome.
Yeah, she's
absolutely
very good.
Awesome.
Great engineer.
Yeah.
Gaffer saying, Nash, we don't want motorbots. We want this for benevolence, not for
Autobots, assemble. Megatron.
We don't want the Decepticons. No.
Yeah.
That's good. Now, everyone, we will. Nash, you'll be fully charged live, won't you, in a couple of weekends' time?
Yes, I am.
Perfect.
If my Model 3 does not sell, my Model 3 will be on display as well. So.
Okay, with the Tesla Owners Club.
I think directly probably with Tesla Owners Club. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Well, if anybody else is thinking of coming, that is the slide, and that is the coupon code for 10% off tickets. So come along. All four of us will be there at some point during the weekend, so come and say hello to all of us. I'm sure we'll just be walking around, taking videos, taking notes, saying hello. So yeah, definitely come up and approach us. We will be there. So that is the promo for Fully Charged Live. Not far now. Today's the 2nd of March, so like that's literally 2 weekends time. So not this weekend, the following weekend. So not far away indeed. And Nash, you're on a panel too at Fully Charged Live?
Yes, I'm on the Sunday 1 o'clock panel talking about what OEMs can do to improve their. I'm going to have to handcuff myself from from using bad language now. I don't know. I'll probably just cough it and say self-charging hybrids, and then talk about that.
No, Nash, just let it go. Come on, we want to hear the real Nash come out.
Okay,
say what you mean. Say what you think.
Yeah, we should. Come on. If what was that? I think Rob had tweeted the other day. When did the Prius came out? 1991. I think 91 or something like that.
No, 90s.
97, I think. 97,
yeah.
96, 97.
Yeah.
96. Toyota has been sleeping all this while. When did the BMW? 2001, I think. 2004.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they don't have, if they've not caught up with Tesla at this time. At this rate, they're not going to catch up with Tesla at all. The newer EVs have a much easier way of, they have a much better chance of getting towards Tesla at this time. What OEMs must do, if you ask me, if I may let out the answer right now,
please. Yes,
first and foremost, they must acknowledge that they screwed up. Simple. They screwed up, and they screwed up big, and they make a concrete effort to start from scratch and build up, or they buy out somebody. They buy out an existing brand and do what Polestar is doing.
Nash, I think you should start a pledge. Just get on stage and go, raise your hands. I, an OEM legacy automaker, know that I've messed up. I pledge to improve my ways.
Yeah,
something like that. That'd be good.
And do not create another self-charging self-charging hybrid video. I can't. No. The video is bad. No. My neighbor has bought a self-charging Toyota 2 months ago. I begged him to buy a 3, but he didn't. And next year he's going to buy a 3 because he hates the car. I told him. I told you so. I told you so. You're not going to spend. You're just going to spend fractionally more over a period of 5 years if you bought a Model 3. And now he hates the car.
Yep. Told you.
Yeah.
We've said all along. Yep.
Correct.
Yeah. Question for you, Nash.
It is Agatha all along.
Someone says, Nash, Tom changed his Model Y order. Did you consider changing your order?
Yes. Tom and I, we had a long chat that day.
We did.
Off
heart
Twitter. Heart to heart, and we were discussing it. I was this close to changing. I'll tell you what tipped me towards keeping my Model Y order. When I found out that the suspension has been changed and it's gotten better. I have a C5, C6 disc. My wife has got a C4, C5 disc. Both of us have discs, and that was a tipping point. And I was missing that in the Model 3, and my Model 3 was causing me more problems than I could, just because of ailments. And I wanted a slightly better suspension. I really like my Model S's suspension, and she drives the Model S. She's happy. So I had to wait and find out if they had changed. If they didn't change, then I was not going to pay the extra and not get the new Model YP. But I know that the non-performance version also has a better improved suspension. And so that's what tipped me into keeping my Model YP. We did have a long chat, Tom. We did.
Yeah. But we know, Nash, that you want the need for speed, so you've made that call. Keep your car.
You know what? I'm going to probably use that once when I go for the next, what is it? A Soren Row. That's the only day I'm going to use it, probably.
Yes.
If people do not know, Soren Row is a charity event that most of us in the EV world we do for the Special Olympians. The last 2 years it has not been conducting. They've not conducted it because of COVID and everything else and safety reasons and stuff like that. But before that, we used to go, and that's probably the only time I'm going to use it on the track.
Yeah, you need a track day.
Use track mode. Yeah.
Yep. All right, gents. Before we wrap up, I will just put a few more comments on screen. Here's a pretty funny one from Gaffer. The new Turing test will be when Optimus can correctly pass the capture login screen. Charles says, I do think it's funny that when you go to use ChatGPT, there's a verify your human check first. It's pretty funny, actually. Greg says another good comment was driving the Model 3 1 mile uses the same energy as boiling a pot of water. That's a good way to put it. I like that. Yeah, and P2N accept BV is now, and the need to transition fast. Toyota does not even accept that. That's true actually. Yeah. Peter Cook, he can easily sell the self-driving car to an Uber driver tomorrow. There you go, Nash. That's for your Model 3.
That's true. Absolutely. Peter Cook would know all about it. Yeah.
And as Ajit said, I heard that suspension changes for all China-built cars post-January. That's very
12th
true.
of Jan onwards, every car, so all of our cars does have it. So we're definitely on the safe.
Yeah, that's cool. And H2 Rider,
and one of your your esteemed guest is the one who alerted me to that. I don't want to drop names unless he wants to reveal himself. And that's when I decided, okay, I'll keep my Model YP.
Yeah, well, that's the best thing about our community, right? We just learn from each other, pick up tips all the time. I love it.
Absolutely awesome.
Yeah. H2 Rider finally fully charged live. Have my tickets. Good. Hopefully you all do as well. Gents, all right. Well, thank you so much, and in particular Nash from Tesla and the Gong. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, giving us all your insights. Say hello to Elon for us, of course. Thank you again.
Absolutely, mate. Thank you very much. I must thank all the lovely viewers. I've been reading the comments, but I couldn't reply to most of them. I'm so sorry. But your community, the community that you built is amazing. It's really great. I'm sort of jealous as well, but then what you've done with Ludicrous Feed is superb, Tom. I'm really liking it.
Thank you, Nash.
And all your videos are superb, and particularly the ones which have interactions. And you involve your community as well. That's super duper. And of course, the EV community is always together, because that's the only way we were before, and that's the only way we're going to convert everybody else from being a green bubble to a blue bubble.
Correct. Thank you, Nash. That's very kind of you. And you look, you're always welcome on these streams. And look, I'm looking forward to catching up with you and everyone else at Fully Charged Live. Rahul, thanks very much again for your time tonight.
Tom, thank you. Nash, great to have you. And you're right. Tom obviously does a massive amount of work for the Australian EV community. And so do you, Nash. You're, along with Tom, one of our guiding lights. We're grateful to have that support from you two guiding us. I just want to quickly mention a couple of things from Investor Day. I'm trying to think who this lady was who mentioned this comment, but it was in the impact statement where it said, sustainability is key to Tesla, and as a result, their customers avoided the creation of a ton of emissions equivalent to 1.7 million ICE vehicles for 1 year. And obviously that tied into the overall mission statement for Tesla, where Tesla's big goal is to obviously show that there's a clear path to sustainable energy on Earth without destroying ourselves or the planet. So I thought those were beautiful words. To all of your viewers, to every one of you who drives an EV out there, is looking at getting an EV, drives a Tesla, well done. You're helping save the world for the next generation. Great work.
Yeah, very well said, Rahul. Indeed. That's what you're doing. Indeed.
Great words.
Thank you, Riz, once again for your time as always.
It's good to be on. Thanks for everyone joining. Thank you, Nash, for coming on and sharing your insights. I just was on Twitter. I know I shouldn't be while I'm on the show, but I think there's just been another announcement that the next Gigafactory will be in Wollongong. And
you know what? I'm not giving up. You know what? It'll be amazing if it comes to Wollongong.
I'll go with that.
I'll gladly give up Tesla and the Gong for Tesla if they wanted to take that up. That Twitter
in the Gong,
and then Giga in the Gong.
One man on a mission in Wollongong.
Thank you, guys. It'd be really amazing. I would love to see a factory here in Wollongong. We have all the things that they need, including steel. So yeah.
Gaffer's happy. Another fellow Wollongongian.
Giga
One more thing, everyone. Yeah, referrals are back. We did allude to it this week.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you've got a Tesla, then use your referral code, show it to everyone, spam your neighbors, spam your family, get them to buy a Tesla. Use credit points to exchange for free stuff. How good would that be, right? So yeah, check that
there's
out.
one small caveat: you can't add it to your Model Y right now. I asked them; they said no way. Boo hoo! Yeah.
So sad. Never mind.
Yeah.
We'll get some more. All good.
After February 23rd, if you made the order, you can order. You can add it. If it's before February 23rd, you can't.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the cutoff date. There you go. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching, and we shall see you at the next Ludicrous Feed Live. Thank you, Nash, once again, and thank you to Riz and Rahul. Thank you, gents. See you next time. Take care. Bye for now.